Racy is studying these plug-in hybrid vehicles behind me. 28 volunteers around Boulder are currently driving the cars for the study. The car bomb killed at least 9 Afghans, including a member of the Afghan security forces. With President Obama speaking here at the Corps Event Center tonight, CU can't avoid all disruptions, and there will be several closures and detours in this area today. Tonight, police from the Weld County Sheriff's Office are still looking for a police impersonator. Earth Day isn't just about recycling, and CU's Really Free Market reaches a much larger audience than you might think. I'd like to thank my cast, my crew, and of course, Marty. Martin Scorsese was the early favorite for the coveted Most Thank Yous award. The Buffoons are in the process of recording 12 songs for their new CD right here in Coop Studios. According to Interim Vice Chancellor for Administration Jeff Lipton, the White House has partnered with CU to reduce campus disruptions as much as possible. Alexis Bridenbaugh, News Team Boulder. Back to you guys in the studio. Michelle Jensen has a success story for you. 10 years ago, Jensen went on a mission to lose weight. Armed with the support of 2 of her friends, she lost 30 pounds in 4 months, a goal weight where she remains to this day. The secret to her weight loss? Jensen enrolled in, that's right, martial arts.
It's definitely a deeper physical fitness than you're going to do with running or jogging or walking.
Jensen went to the Scornavaco Martial Arts Academy in Longmont, a place she says provides a fun alternative to working out that focuses on building strong overall health. Jensen was on a Weight Watchers program, but says martial arts provided the sense of community and that extra oomph that helped her shed the pounds and keep them off.
Being engaged mentally and physically has made such a different impact on my life and my weight loss, and the fact that I've managed to maintain the weight loss since around 2002.
So what exactly is this high-energy combat sport? Academy owner Brad Scornavaco says it's fundamentally a way for human beings to defend themselves against people who are trying to attack or hurt them. But it's also a lot more.
I never would have stayed in the martial arts if it were just for the self-defense and the physical part. It was the philosophy and helping people change their lives and improve their lives through the training.
Martial arts has been around since ancient times and is often linked to spiritual or religious beliefs. It can help with anything from weight loss to relieving stress and teaches confidence, discipline, focus, and respect for other people. Ultimately, the sport concentrates on strengthening both the body and the mind.
You see people do this, and they call it the warrior and the scholar, or the athlete and the student.
Scornavaco focuses specifically on character development coupled with practical self-defense in sessions like their adult Kempo class that teaches the use of quick moves in rapid-fire succession intended to overwhelm an opponent. The sport has such strong appeal that even in the downturn of the economy, martial arts is going nowhere soon, and others, just like Jensen, are kicking for more. Economic hardships are forcing many to cut back on the things that don't matter and invest in the things that do. With its pull to both kids and adults, martial arts is actually becoming a necessity in people's lives, and Scornavaco has no shortage of customers.
People realize that you can't just pass the time, you have to invest. And they see the investment in themselves that they're doing in martial arts training.
Now, Jensen is an instructor at Scornavaco, the same place she started her journey 10 years ago. With martial arts, Jensen not only found an effective way to lose weight, but also a way to develop herself mentally and emotionally. And it's this that she teaches her own students today. Alexis Bridenbaugh, News Team Boulder. Hello and welcome to News Team Boulder. I'm Alexis Bridenbaugh. Michael Bennett has a lot to worry about today. In a new ad airing this week in Denver and Colorado Springs, Ken Buck is accusing Bennett of a government spending spree. A conservative advocacy group spent $425,000 on the ad. Bennett lashed back just a day later, saying that most of his spending was going towards the efforts in Iraq and Afghanistan. The 85-pound Argentine Mastiff that bit Dyer was released from the Denver Animal Shelter after a 10-day quarantine, which is protocol after a bite. Police say the impersonator then conducted an hour-long search of the car. The impersonator is described as having black curly hair and being in his mid to upper 30s. Anyone with information should contact the Weld County Sheriff's Office Investigations Unit. Lafayette psychic Nancy Marks was sentenced to 5 years in prison today for stealing from her clients. The 55-year-old woman was accused of stealing almost $300,000. The psychic told victims that she needed their money to, quote, draw out the bad energy, end quote, to see the amount of times the number 6 appeared in their cash and credit cards. According to police records, the psychic then used the money to make purchases at Macy's, Target, and Sears. And we'll see why Sacha Baron Cohen wins the award for the most tasteless joke of the year. Plans to bring the grocery store Trader Joe's to Boulder are moving ahead, but as Paris Bradley reports, its arrival is surrounded by some controversy. Well, a new show is set to air on PBS this spring, and the subject might just surprise you. It's about sewing. The show is called Sew It All and will be hosted by Ellen March, the editor of Sew News and Sew It All magazines. Each episode of Sew It All will feature a technique of sewing and a special guest to serve as creative inspiration. According to the Craft and Hobby Association, about 27% of American households owned a sewer in 2009, and with shows like Project Runway glamorizing the skill, sewing is becoming even more popular. March says her goal is to take the fear out of sewing, as the show targets today's creative minds, including guys. Republican voters in Arizona and Michigan are going to the polls today in the latest round of caucuses. Michigan is Romney's home and the state in which his father served as governor, and should give him a bit of an edge over Rick Santorum. But a Santorum win could help him regain the momentum that he had after winning primaries in Colorado, Minnesota, and Missouri. Regardless of who wins, Michigan is shaping up to be an important turning point in the potential campaigns of either candidate. Richard and Mayumi Heaney and their 3 boys are waking up in a new home this morning. State court officials say the family at the center of the Balloon Boy hoax moved from Fort Collins, Colorado to Bradenton, Florida Friday. Last October, police say the Heaneys reported their 6-year-old son was floating away inside a homemade helium balloon, but the reports were proved to be false. John Sarsh, spokesman for the state court administration's office, says the Heaneys' probation was transferred to Florida. Meryl Streep appeared shocked by her Best Actress win for her role as Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady, and Octavia Spencer turned in an Oscar speech for The Ages after winning Best Supporting Actress. But down the stretch, one movie let its actions do the talking. Coming up next, good news for all you pancake lovers out there. Today, the International House of Pancakes is celebrating National Pancake Day. Ryan Seacrest was at the receiving end of the shock of the evening on Sunday. As Seacrest was interviewing Sacha Baron Cohen, who was dressed as his character from The Dictator, Cohen poured an urn of ashes all over him. Cohen joked that they belonged to deceased Korean leader Kim Jong-il. Luckily for Seacrest, he listened to his mother's red carpet advice to always bring 2 jackets because you never know when you'll run into a dictator. Thanks for watching News Team Boulder. We'll leave you with a rare look into space.